Can you hear me?
Oh, well, praise the Lord. James,
All right.
you
Yeah,
don't
what's
crash
up,
me
bro?
after yesterday.
Calm down. We're live on YouTube.
Oh,
Relax.
yeah. Okay.
Relax. After. Let's go ahead. All right. It's a Thursday morning and 19 minutes past 8 a.m. And you know it's that time to get into the world of entertainment, all the celebrity gist and everything in between, because this is the Grapevine. Welcome along to another amazing time on Lagos Radio on Smooth 98.1. My name is Ayokunmi, and so glad to be here with you this morning to walk you through what's been going on in the world of entertainment. Yes, indeed. You can also join us. In fact, we always look forward to you sharing your thoughts with us and letting us know where you stand, sit, or what you feel about the issues in question. So please do join us on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 YouTube or streaming live. Yes, indeed. You can find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right. Joining me this morning to take a look at the stories as they always do on a Thursday. James Silas and, of course, Oris in the building.
Yeah, good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody. What's popping? Oris has been a wall. I don't know whether he went for Canes or something, but it's just
I wish,
disappeared.
I wish,
We didn't hear
I
from him.
wish, I wish, I wish. I had a big setback on the road to France, but
Wow.
anyway, God day. I mean, I can explain off air. But yes, good morning, Lagos, and good morning, I guess, world from, I mean, depending on where you're listening to us from.
Right, because we indeed are global. You can listen to us at any time via your favorite radio streaming application. You find us there loud and clear. Okay, so many things to sink our teeth into this morning. And where do we even begin? Okay, let's start from here. Let's talk about Nigerian cinema. Been doing big numbers, big bucks, really. The Nigerian film industry continues its upward climb as cinema revenue in the first quarter of 2025 hit a remarkable 3.48 billion naira. That's according to the Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria. Now, this figure, recorded between January the 1st and March 31st, reflects a 54.7% surge from the 2.25 billion posted during the same time frame in 2024. When it's compared with the same quarter in 2023, it's an astonishing 132% leap, guess, underscoring the growing influence of Nollywood and the rising appetite for cinematic experiences across the country. There's, so many numbers and all that. Or I mean, looking at this, I thought, country was hard and, money no day and so on and so forth. Is it a function of the quality of what in cinemas showing, or are people finding a way to just go and see these movies because, well, I mean, they need to keep themselves entertained? What could be the reason?
Well, I don't know. I think I would suspect that it might be a combination of a lot of factors. Um, but before we, I don't know, express too much joy, I think what is more important is how many tickets were sold. Does this represent like a huge jump, in terms of tickets sold? Because when you think about from last year to this year, I believe strongly that the Naira has taken a beating.
Mm.
So if the Naira has taken a beating, it might just be that what we are discussing as billions, or rather as an improvement, is merely a shift in the what's the word, purchasing power, and the increase of
Okay.
price tickets at the cinemas,
Okay.
rather
Okay.
than pure what's it called now, increase in terms of how more people are going to the
The
cinema.
cinemas.
So I think that's the more valuable um thing to check, I think. How many? But yeah, apparently it's like, yes, so it's been okay about 6%. So a single digit increase in terms of so that's a good thing actually. But it still troubles me that we are not talking about millions of people going to the cinemas. You understand? I think we are still in the level of six figures,
Mm.
500,000, 600,000 people who will head to the cinemas. So I'm like, I wish that was better.
Okay.
But again, but I mean, as we say, a win is a win is a win. So
No
we should
matter how
probably
small.
just, say, let's just celebrate this. But I think more importantly for me is um a lot of the projects that have contributed to this rise
Yeah.
are probably foreign. We should probably check that. They are probably foreign, of course. You have stuff from what's it called now?
Yeah, okay. Looking at top earners of the first quarter.
First quarter, exactly.
Mufasa,
Number one, exactly, is the Lion King. You know? Oh, look at it. There's okay. Daniel.
Two, Captain America.
So yeah, so in the
and
top
so on.
four, there are three Hollywood projects. Yeah, no, I mean not bad, of course. But in the top six, it looks like okay, there's like three more. Of course, Funke's Everybody Loves Jennifer, the Alakada film from Tony Abraham, and Real Love, the Timini romance drama that came. I think it was in February around the Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I feel so good. Happy for this because it looks like a decent mix of what's it called, foreign stuff and local stuff in the top six. So yeah, so that's a good one. But of course, we hope that this carries into the rest of the year. I think these numbers are called. I just talked about how one of them is like a Valentine, but that's a holiday film.
Yeah.
Well, holiday in quotes because it's not like Valentine is officially an holiday or anything. Anyway, so there is that. Then you have the carryover from last year. Funke's film is from last year, actually. You understand that? And then you have the heavyweights from the US. Disney always does incredible numbers in Nigeria. So what this means is that probably this might also be good when you think about the fact that this doesn't cover Sinners. The new
that is true. That is true.
Film, that also is true. From Disney as well. So maybe, just maybe, this is a big thing. Because we must remember again that the most important thing that has happened over the past decade is COVID.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes. So all of this, all of what we are discussing is, okay, can we get back to pre-COVID numbers? That's really what the focus is. So yeah, I guess if this continues, we should be heading somewhere. So I don't know if this is to be honest, I'm not entirely sure this is a measure of how great the movies are. But people probably want right. And so because a lot of the movies are really comedies and cartoons and superhero movies.
At this point in time, we need a good laugh.
Really, because I think Mohana and what's it called, and Lion King, those are cartoons. I mean, it's not it's like a remake of a cartoon at least. That's the Mufasa film. So good. I mean, good. Hopefully, we see better movies.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. James, I mean, 3.48 billion naira in the first quarter. Is your naira in any of that? Because mine definitely is not in that.
So we have titles in this thing.
Yeah, interestingly, mine is on I think about two of the movies.
Which two movies?
Real Love, and Everybody Loves Jennifer. And
this guy's a patriot. James the Patriot.
I mean, it's what it is. Then I think the kids also saw Moana 2. Yeah, they also saw Moana 2. So but I mean, away from whether they are good movies or not, this is a numbers game, not even whether they are great or not. So far they have the numbers, because people that watch, they have these figures all sorted out. And I don't want to believe that they'll come and be giving us or falsifying or playing around or throwing numbers, because I know that there's always the question of when you say you made XYZ amount over the weekend of the release and stuff, people want to ask how many tickets were sold and sort of scrutinize or check what has been claimed, but you and the movie or the marketers or what's it called, the distributors or the platforms will not come and throw numbers and then go behind and be fighting each other, with the belief that it doesn't concern we, the observers. But I also believe that these are numbers that are actually valid, that they actually have been able to come up with, based on what really happened. I know and I wish that it would be better. It could be better if we had more viewing or more screening, centers or venues across the country. Because I mean, I'm looking at over 100. We have to actually be sure that we have up to 100. But if we have more platforms or more, cinemas, more, it would have been a lot easier. And probably we'll do better numbers with what we have right now. And sometimes, I mean, the cinema owners too need to work more on the outlook or because the last time I went to, okay, let me not mention, but they need to work more anyway. They need to have more tidy places. But and these days, the prices are not even as friendly as they used to be. It's no longer cheap to go to
Mm-mm,
the cinema.
mm-mm,
You know?
mm-mm.
Yes, I
So,
agree. I agree.
but shout out to the numbers. Congratulations to everybody involved.
Shout out to the numbers. James,
That's
but I think
yeah.
you've made a good point about the experience. I
Yes.
think I think that we can, a lot of the cinemas in Lagos, at least where we live,
Yeah.
can vastly be improved in terms of like giving people value for their money.
It goes back not
Money.
even in talking
Not
about
the movies themselves, but about the general experience, the
it goes
ambience.
back. It goes back to our maintenance culture because I've had people tell me that when I went to the cinema, I walked in, I sat down, I saw a rat running across, all sorts of funny things, like
You know, that's
that.
exactly that, but it's true. But yes, you don't want stuff like that. You are going to cinemas to kind of escape, so to speak. So both the story on the screen and also the environment should contribute to that escape. So if we are looking at what's it called now, non-good looking environment, I think it tells like it reduces your own motivation to want
Definitely,
to show up for the
definitely.
movie.
I mean, right now, paying that amount of money for movie
Exactly.
tickets.
I mean, tickets are. I mean, what was I
Sorry.
saying? Someone said the other day that minimum tickets are very
And that's
more.
for one person. Oh. So imagine going on a date.
If you're like James, imagine going with your kids. Wow.
Yes.
James, I salute you. I salute you. Now, mind you,
That's what I'm saying. So it has to be worth it too.
Careful what you're doing, my guy.
Oris said it not me. Let's take our first break. When we come back in, we're going to be talking about Chris Brown. Yeah, I know we talked about this on Tuesday, but an update on this particular story. And I haven't gotten James and Oris's perspective on this young man. On the other side, right here on the grapevine, on Smooth 98.1. 8,500 naira.
Oh, imagine that.
Where are the days of Wednesday, 500 naira, Wednesday, 1,000 naira free popcorn?
Your money is no longer money.
There was a time in Unilag, that was 2008, 9. One of my roommates, what we used to do was every Wednesday, because at Ozone, every Wednesday was 1,000 with free popcorn and drink. So every Wednesday was like a regular thing.
Silver bread, right?
Yes, no, Ozone in Yaba.
Okay,
Yeah, so
Silver bread, they were doing this as well.
Yeah, they were on Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, we'll go to the cinema with one babe or another. Like, okay, Wednesday we go cinema, we go call, that kind of thing. We'll take a cab, go, come back, enjoy ourselves like that. Regular Wednesday movement with how much? 2K, 2.5, 3K, whatever. Well, okay. But now,
honestly, most people are taking it out of their regular living, which wasn't the case like a few years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. And as you said,
I always buy from their website anyway. Even the website itself, that experience that when you go to a website, a cinema website itself, how you should feel.
How you won't feel.
Very just give you a list.
You're right.
Give you a list of.
We got work to do.
It can be better,
Crazy. Niger. Anyways. Welcome back into the Grapevine on a Thursday morning. This is the Smooth Breakfast here on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, love to have great conversation, just and everything in between. 32 minutes past 8 a.m. My name is Ayokunmi. Oris is in the studio, and James Silas.
Yeah.
Was waiting for that one before I continued. When you hear that, we're locked, we're live. And you well, share your thoughts on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. Send your messages in. Also on YouTube, we're at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Leave your comments in the chat box. I'll take that as we get things going. Taya says, inflation and exchange rates have influenced the figures. Perhaps if yesterday's football was on cinema, I would watch it without a doubt. I would not have watched it without a doubt. Nope, would not. I think this economy is teaching us to be faithful to one person. The American Chris Brown. He can sing, he can dance, and he can cause problems as well. Incidentally, Portable is somewhere in the gist this morning, but we'll get there eventually. But for now, Chris Brown is the focus of our attention. Now, after landing in the UK ahead of his tour and getting arrested over a 2023 assault case. Yes, 2023. American singer Chris Brown has been set free on a £5 million bail. That's heavy money. He was taken into custody shortly after arriving in the UK for the latest leg of his tour on May the 15th. 2025. I don't know what was going through Chris's mind after that incident. It happened, he left the country, and I don't know whether it was village people that said, Chris, go back to the UK. Just go. There's something there for you. They picked
He
them out.
forgot. He forgot.
but
2 years ago, he forgot.
I mean, James, walk us through this one first. Let me get
No,
your
because
thoughts.
I remember when this news broke that there was that, reports of Chris Brown hitting somebody, in the assaulting, let me use the word, the right word, assaulting somebody in the UK. So not just him and his friend, I think. And I think that time, I think I won't say he didn't evade any arrest. I think there was just that brief conversation, and then he left the country. But I think they tried to detain him for a bit. But anyway, eventually he left the country. But of course, the case was still pending. And you see, these countries, including America, where Chris Brown is from, they know that these things, they don't sweep it. It's never forgotten. You can get over those things in probably some African countries, not just Nigeria.
Yeah.
Just saying. But there, they never forget the reports, the record. You are already in the system. You've been clocked in at the airport. So there's no way you are escaping it when you come back, So I believe that it was just an instant. And then they won't tell you anything. I mean, nobody's going to say anything. It's not a threat of don't come into our country or whatever. You're going to come. Come and you have a tour now. Come and do your tour.
Welcome.
And then they will...
You were muted, James, very briefly.
Yes, sorry, I was interrupted. The call interrupted me. So I'm saying that they'll let you come. When you come and have a conversation. So, bro, 5 million for bail, and then his friend was, I think, £1 million. And that's not to end the case anyway. This is just okay, carry on with your show, but in between your tour, you're still going to get to court or come to court and have this conversation about whatever. I mean, I'm sure at the end of the day, he's going to have to pay a fine. He might not have to go to jail or whatever. They'll pay a fine and everything. But look at how much it's costing. I wonder, the show promoters, how much would they have put up to carry?
It looks like someone is trying to get across to you, James. You are muted once again. Someone needs to talk to you really importantly.
So sorry, I keep getting interrupted by my phone. Yeah, so sorry. But yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying. He still has to go to court. He'll have his day in court. They'll have to have the conversation, and I'm sure at the end of the day there might be some kind of compensation for the assaulted. And I don't think he'll go to jail. But let's see how it goes anyway.
Let's see how it goes. Oris, when it comes to matters of legacy, is this or things like this going to tarnish Chris Brown's legacy in the grand scheme of things?
I mean, I don't even believe we should be discussing legacy even now. It's tarnishing him right here, right now. Around me that without these incidents of violence and these controversies that has dogged Chris Brown, I say that as dogged like he's not part of it, that Chris Brown himself has orchestrated, I believe his career will be a whole lot bigger and better. Of course, now we still have that whole debate about who is the new Michael Jackson and everything. Honestly, it's not a debate. That person is Chris Brown. Unfortunately, it's not the case that he would ever be given that, what's the word, title while he's alive. It's not going to happen. Why? Because he has been just badly behaved,
He's been a bad boy. That's what it is.
Yeah, over a long period of time. So it's not, so we don't have to wait for his legacy to be litigated. We can say even right now, he is not where he ought to be given his incredible talents, because of his own misdemeanors. So when you have this kind of cases, people are like less reluctant to put you on their magazine covers. People are reluctant to give you like the profile. People are reluctant to just say, you know what, you are the greatest. But if you're working purely on talents, the man is incomparable to anybody who is currently working across R&B and hip hop, But unfortunately, maybe even pop, Unfortunately, though, he just would not. Imagine how much the stadium he played in South Africa. If he could do the same thing in the US. But the question is like, would they really want to give him that kind of, what's the word? What's her name? Taylor Swift is performing at grand arenas, with all of the attendance, fanfare. Chris could probably close. I'm not sure about his white audience, but he could something close. but you just will not hear about it in the way you hear about Beyonce doing it, the way you hear about even Drake doing it, just because of all of these issues. So yeah, we don't need to wait on say, hey, legacy. Right here, right now, the man is paying for his crimes.
Well,
True.
it is usually said that I want my reward here, not in heaven. It seems like he's
a pop star. Pop stars, to be honest, pop stars, a lot of their rewards, they get it while they are alive. It's a shame that we are going to have to defer Chris Brown soon.
Interesting thoughts there. Now, talking about pop stars, I'm actually glad you mentioned that Oris, because there was this report that was done talking about a vacuum in the female arm of Nigerian pop music. Now, I don't know where you guys stand, but I'm willing to hear your thoughts on this one. You talked about Tiwa Savage, bursting onto the scene, bringing along captivating vocals, sensuality, of course. In R&B music scene of late 90s, early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s as well. Tiwa was that girl and so on and so forth. She did a lot of things, won the MTV EMA for Best African Act in 2018. She did a lot and so on and so forth. Now we've seen a current wave of Afrobeats across the stage. You have your Ira Stars of this world, your King Maddies and so on and so forth. Now I know that you actually took a look at that particular report. Do you agree that there is that vacuum in the Nigerian pop music scene where the women are concerned? I know the men are doing bits, they are locking things up here and there and so on and so forth, but the what do you think is going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unlikely but I do not believe it's necessarily a problem restricted to these times. It's not a 5 years ago, 6 years ago issue. It's always been like this. The only thing, I think the major difference here is that Tiwa Savage gave us she deceived us, so to speak, into yeah, no, I would explain what I mean by that. Deceived us into believing that there was some kind of parity between male pop acts in Nigeria and female pop acts. But there isn't. She was the only person who was actually there. Of course, you have people like, what's her name? Sheishi around the same time who had some, but you cannot compare Sheishi's career to any or to Tiwa's, to be fair. Tiwa at some point was probably like in the big 3 or big 4 of pop music in Nigeria. Nobody, I don't think in our time, at least, contemporary times, I don't think anybody has kind of been there. Maybe Asha for like the first 2 years of her career. But besides the two of them, even
Asha, like that.
James is always shaking his head. You get exactly, yeah. So
Asha was very niche.
Yeah, no, she was, but she was kind of big at some point. But anyway, yes, the point I'm trying to make here is that you could discuss these things from the beginning. I don't know about before me, but at least in my own time as an adult, I think Tiwa has been the only person who has ever threatened the primacy of male pop acts in this country. She's the only one. So what that means is that none of this is particularly strange. I think the real issue is that she showed up, made us believe that, there was a space for women in the pop music space.
Right.
But, now that her career is relatively chill, it's now like, okay, it's kind of like MI. I make joke about MI, that MI made us believe that rap would really give you some kind of income. You could, create like a great career out of being a rapper. I mean, financially. Fact of the matter is, it's not really true. Of course, Olamide then came, and of course, he moved into pop a little bit, and we kind of helped him. But in terms of those people who are rapping in English, so to speak, MI really deceived us into believing that, there was a commercial, what's it called, play for rappers. In the same way, Tiwa made us believe that, maybe if you hustle, you can find your way into the upper echelons of Nigerian pop music. But it's really not true. Before Tiwa, after Tiwa, is like, okay, you guys should chill. So, of course, the person who is there now is Ira Star. So, I think the article actually mentions Ira Star, who is her. But Ira doesn't quite have... So, in my view, Ira's issue is not related, it's not exclusively a female issue. It's a generational issue. I find that a lot of the artists who have showed up in the past, maybe 5-6 years, they don't have... James, I'm sure you get what I'm saying. There's something, this extra thing that makes you, I want to say it's kind of stage presence, but even beyond that, it's just like a certain level of being
the it factor.
Yes, there's this extra thing that all of them are supposed to have that I find that, okay, you have a hit song, but the song is bigger than you are. I feel like that happens to a lot of artists now. Look at, I don't think there might be very few songs better, in my own view, better produced and better written, just in terms of what he's trying to achieve, than Victoni's Soweto. But I can assure you that if Victoria walked past this street in front of us, I'm sure very people will go say, oh, is that Victoria? They would not know who he is. You understand? So you have, so my point anyway is that Irasta also has something like that, where it feels like there's not enough of substance to their image in the way that there is substance, I guess, I have to say, I mean, in this context, to their songs. Right. So you have a big song, but the stature is not quite as big. Back in the day, you heard that Two-Face, for instance, the bunch, these are people who, their names, before the songs, their names have already gone very far. You know exactly what you think of if you're thinking of Two-Face. Somehow we don't have that. And it's funny because this is even a time where we have social media, where people should be crafting narratives around their artists. But for some reason, we don't have it. So yeah, it's not an Arasta thing. And so on the one hand, Tiwa Savage deceived us into thinking there was a space for us, one. Two, a lot of the younger artists, even Arasta who are some successful, they do not have enough of a substance to their presence and personalities.
James, what do the Arastas and the King Madis and so on need to do to add to this substance that they don't have, that Tiwa had back then, that had everybody in a chokehold? I mean, what do
it'll be tough. It'll be tough to actually say there's a formula to it. You understand? But it has always been like this for a lot of the female artists. Who remembers Mo Cheddar?
Of course,
she was a major. Yeah, she had major prospects. But what happened? She fell in love and out of the label. You know, it has always been like that for a lot of female artists, which is why even record label executives or investors find it very difficult to invest in the, you know, in the female gender, and just basically because of some things. It's never static, it's never stable. Do you understand? No matter what you try to do, and I think the same thing applies all around the world. Yes, you have the likes of Taylor Swift, what's her name, Beyonce, and all of these people. You see, you have to get or grind to a particular, which is where even I feel like Tiwa Savage is right now. You grind to a point where at least you get a level of attention, and then you can now just be doing the rest of the things solo or low key. You know, we have a lot of talented women in the industry, and they're still doing shows here and there. You know, even Oma is still active. YJ is still very active, but not necessarily on the mainstream like we see a lot of these other younger ones. You know, and it's just a matter of time. It's just what it is. The female folks always get, there's something always comes up. See, like someone like let's use Subaba that or Two-Face that always mentioned now. Two-Face is no longer as top notch as he used to be before, but still the guy is still going here and they're still doing this thing, even still always in the news. You understand? And these are things that keep you relevant, that keep people streaming your music and so on. You know, but the women always have these challenges, and it's not really a bad thing. It's not like it's their fault or anything, but it's just what it is. Sometimes you might be doing great, and from nowhere, boom, you're pregnant, and just sort of stifles everything.
It's just from nowhere. Hopefully, it's not from nowhere, please.
I'm just saying, you know,
if only we're that easy. If only we're that easy or straightforward, boom, pregnant.
And that's the easiest way I can put it, you know. But something just has to come in.
But I get what you mean.
You might even have an event they are dealing with makeup artists. They are looking for, okay, there's these big fat pimples on my face, I need to pop. There are a lot of issues that can just come up, and it always stifles the process or the business, which is why, like I said, a lot of labels are not trying to invest so much into.
James, it's difficult to say this for everybody because it doesn't seem to be the case internationally. I mean, if you're thinking about global pop music as we speak,
but
I don't think anybody's as big as you said.
Check their staying power. Even this.
No, look at Beyonce, look at Taylor Swift. These people have been on the top 3 or top 4 for like more than 10 years.
Yes, I know. That's what I said. You have to grind to a point that now keeps you there for a very.
But I'm saying, but we don't even have that point. I mean, a lot of artists don't even get to that point where they are even rivaling top 5 in this country.
Yes. Look, I think we're talking about Nigeria. Africa. Yes. Talk about Africa. How many female? Can you say top female artists in Africa?
And so that's what I'm asking you. That's okay. Yeah. What exactly makes the environment conducive for the female for the American pop star or the British pop star?
Is it a cultural thing, perhaps?
Yeah.
So for them,
what's the difference?
For them, the label, when they join or when they are with these labels and stuff, they've been able to build, even both with the catalogs, they've been able to build a heavy catalog of music that helps keep them for a very long time, even after they stop recording. Not even necessarily stop recording, when they stop being really, really active. Because like I said, a lot of factors come in. They raise children, they have to groom, they have to take care of their baby.
Yes, every woman has this problem across the world, know. But how come they have been able to create like at least stars that have lasted for 10 or so years, and we haven't?
I think
That's what I'm saying. That when they were active, when they were way younger, they built a fat library of music.
So why haven't we built it? What I'm
albums.
asking you. Why haven't we built it then?
That's the part. That's the thing. So these guys need to do the same. Like, because when you look at and I'm sure that is why even Tiwa is still pushing to right now. How many she has built?
Yeah, but that's why I said she's the only one. Exclusively Tiwa, it's the only person.
Yes. So how many albums do these other guys? Oh, let's not forget that there's also Yemi Alade. But you see, Yemi Alade, when the conversation comes, even with the female artists on the mainstream, it is always a challenge here in Nigeria that she doesn't get the flowers that she's supposed to get. Meanwhile, she's doing great or doing well outside, so to speak.
That is true.
If not, maybe she would have been there even over or more than Tiwa Savage. But the elements are not the same, they're not the same. Acceptability too is still a challenge. I don't think people are taking or listening to Yemi Alade as much as they should. You
know what? We can carry on this conversation for a longer period. Maybe like I said, we do need to do some research on this particular issue and find out what exactly is going on. Tali says it's a culture and mindset issue. Rihanna and Beyonce have had multiple babies.
Exactly.
And it's true. In this part, women self-image.
Okay, wahala. Tali is going to put us into trouble with a lot of comments.
Bartlett Love says the word you're looking for is
well, that's not the word actually. She or he is spelling it very, very wrong.
Idea is what we need, Oris.
I'm not looking for idea. Please. I need it correct.
Oris, relax, calm down. Calm down. Well, time has actually flown by this morning. But before I actually, let us out of the studio, I was going to say that, Oris, one thing I want to do right now, I'm going to make it my mission. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Again,
get you in the ring with Portable, because this amount of monies that have been reported in this time around, we need. Come on, man. We need to get you in on this one. I'm
a writer. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Please, I'm not the person to be. Putin. I hear Burna Boy wants to give somebody money to fight with Chief Priest.
200 million.
I mean, I would like if Burna Boy can just send me that percentage rather than I don't want to get. I'm not violent by nature, please. So maybe ask James. Maybe ask James.
Who is the lover, not the fighter?
Yeah, exactly.
200 million.
Who is the lover, not the fighter? But that's a funny call. Anyway, imagine Portable and what's his name? Chief Priest in the ring. But okay, Portable though.
It just I just realized that actually they do have that issue actually. Chief Priest and Burna Boy, because I was trying to understand why exactly was this saying Chief Priest, and then I realized a few weeks ago they had that whole exchange on the internet for for days, and so maybe that's actually why he's like, okay, maybe Portable can play his part and represent him in the ring, which is ridiculous. Burna Boy is just, I don't know. He's a character.
Probably looking for someone to get the job done for him.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, since over the past few years, we haven't quite heard of. I think 10 years ago, or 6 or 5 years ago, we used to have a lot of Burna Boy violent episodes. And we've not had that in a while. So I guess now it's being what people to do is to do the dirty job.
Living through other people.
He hasn't stomped on any fan's head at his concert.
Thankfully. Tayo says, the justice system in the abroad, delay isn't denial, or delay isn't denial, as I like to say. Chris Brown's village people are choking James' network. It's not them. He called Kim. Tayo, calm down. His actions are tarnishing him like shoe polish. It's too clear. R&B, I miss Queen. Not so much nowadays.
From way back.
Too many people deceived Oris.
What is that about? I'm not sure what it means.
No, when you talk about Tiwa Savage deceiving, I think that's what I was talking about. Okay. And it says that Two-Face is now a special mechanic.
That's you see, that song was never released. I don't know if people keep anyway. I mean, maybe one day. Hopefully not. I don't know.
And Tayo has said he will train you Oris just for 10%. 10%. I mean,
Tayo, you people that want to see them punch my mouth. God forbid. God forbid.
Even I want to get it says je ne sais quoi is likely the spelling of the actual word. You can see
exactly.
The French phrase in English used to describe an indefinable, pleasing, or distinctive quality. It suggests a special charm or appeal that is difficult to put into.
You didn't discuss from. Oh yes, tomorrow on Film Focus. Please join us. 11 o'clock.
Yes, indeed.
So that's a film thing, special films thing. So we can discuss that tomorrow.
Exactly. I left that one for you guys to actually sink your teeth into. We need to go right now. Thank you so much for all the messages and keeping it tuned to the grapevine. Thank you so much, James Silas, and of course, Oris, for being a part of the show.
For having us. Yes.
Where can we catch you on social media?
Yeah, James Silas across board. James Silas, JamesSilas on Instagram, X, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm actually everywhere. Just search for James Silas. If you find me, say hi. I'll say hi back, especially if you're from Smooth FM or the Grapevine. Yeah.
Since my account has been suspended on Instagram, you can only catch me on Twitter, where it's catch Oris, CATCHORIS. You can always say hi if the DM allows you to say hi, because Elon Musk has that thing going on.
I can imagine. Well, I'm pretty sure a number of people want to catch you, Oris, and drag you to that ring, because 200 million is on the line. Anyways, the Grapevine will be back on Tuesday at 8:15 on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere. More great music coming your way on a Thursday morning.